Hello, welcome back. This is Jeff Byers. This is Andy 235, Character Modeling and Rigging, and this is Module 12, and we are rigging our character now. One of the things we need to make sure is that your character is scaled up in feet, so I would say between 5 feet and 6 feet tall. Make sure you go into Windows, Setting Preferences, and go into Settings and make sure you're in linear foot. Okay, it's going to default at centimeter, so make sure that you go in there, go to foot, and save. Now I've noticed that if you're in centimeter and it doesn't look like it's correct, go ahead and save it in centimeter, and then go back out, come back in again, and then go to foot, and then save that, and it should get it set up right. So once that's scaled up, how do you scale your character up? So once that's done, you have to scale your character up. If you have it in pieces, which is fine, what you don't want to do is combine it. Okay, keep those pieces separate. It's much easier to paint weights on separate pieces, and especially the hair. You'll thank me later. Do not combine your characters. So what you want to do, if you want to scale everything up properly, you'll just select everything and you'll do Control G, or you can go in here to edit and then go to group. Okay, but it's Control G, so Control G, and make sure that pivot point is correct. So you can move that. I'm going to hit the W key and I want to move that up to where to her feet. Now yours should be setting on your ground. But I'm going to go ahead and move that pivot point up right to her feet. I'm holding the D key as in David. And now you can go ahead and scale the character up or down, and everything should scale perfectly. Okay. The minute you're done, what you want to do is you want to go into Outliner, Windows Outliner, and you want to go into that group, and you want to make sure you select everything, and you want to ungroup. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and I can do it this way. You can do it by going another way. Let me show you this way first. So you can just select everything, holding on the Shift key, and just move these pieces out of that group. When you do that, it's no longer in the group, so you can delete that group, and you're good to go. Let me close that. Okay, so now she's back into little pieces again, but she's been able to keep your scale. Okay, so that's how you can scale your character, and that's one of the first things you're going to want to do. You cannot delete by type history anymore or freeze transformations on the character. If you delete by type history, it'll get rid of all your wonderful blend shapes, all that hard work you did for the head. Okay, so keep that in mind. Do not delete by type history anymore. From now on, okay, throughout the whole rigging process, because if you do it for the rigging, it'll get rid of the rig, the mesh won't stick to it, and so you'll have to start from scratch again. So just remember, do not delete by type history anymore on the character. Alright, with that said, let's go ahead and get started on rigging the leg. Get that started, get the joints set up. So I like to work on the side view. And let's get as close as we can to the object. We also want to go to View, and we want to go, Shading. We want to go to X-ray Joints. Make sure that's on, and I have that on. And then we're going to go ahead and hold down the space bar and go to Skeleton, Create Joints. In here, I'm just going to reset. I'm not going to worry anything about this. Just keep it the way it is. Everything's defaulted out nice. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to close that, and now we're ready. You can see little crosshairs here. We're going to find out where the waist starts. So I'm going to start right where the waist joint is. If you hold your thumb onto your waist, you can feel that bone, and that's kind of where you want to start. Okay, so I'm going to start right about here, and I'm going to go ahead and click where the knee is, the intersection where the knee joint would bend. Okay, and I'm going to set a preferred angle. I'm not going to go straight down. I'm not going to hold the Shift key down, because that would not be good. It would go straight down. We don't want that. we want to give it a preferred angle. We talked about that in a earlier tutorial. So I'm going to go back at the backspace key, and I'm going to go give it a little bit of a preferred angle here. And I'm going to go down to where I want the ankle to be, and then where the toes are going to bend, right about here. And now I'm going to hold down the Shift key and click on the end of the foot. And then I'm going to hit the Enter key. There we go, like that. So the first joint, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the joint, highlight it, and let's call this thigh. And JNT for joint, and we should probably call this like this will be the left side. Yeah, left side, left thigh joint. And then we're going to go down to the knee, and I can hit the arrow key down, and let's call this left knee, JNT. And we're going to go down to the ankle, left ankle, JNT, and hit the arrow key again. And left toe, JNT, and then one more down, and that'll be left end effector. Okay, I probably should put toe on there. Now if I have other videos that have a different naming convention, please feel free to follow that instead. I'm making this video preemptive after the videos have already done. Not preemptive, but after the fact. So we'll call that left toe end effector joint. Alright, so rename those if you see them named differently in the later videos. Okay, right now I'm just going off of a memory. Alright, so we got left thigh, left knee, left ankle, and it's important that they're all facing the right direction. There we go. Alright, so alright, we can change the radius here whenever we want on the joints if we want to do that. Let's see what that looks like at 4. You can see that. I can change that to 4 as well, make that a little bit bigger. And this is entirely up to you, what you want to do, but let's create 4 on each one of those. Just makes it a little easier to see. Alright, so now we got those all done. Let's take a little closer look at the joint system. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to show joints. There we go. And I'm going to get rid of the character for a second. Let's kind of look at these joints and see. Hit the W key there and click off of there. Hit the Q key. There we go. So you can see that red's going down, and that's the direction of the joint, and that is correct. So you can see that we're seeing the red goes right down the joint. Don't worry about the end effector. It's not going to be a problem. Alright, so that's nice and straight because we did it from the side view, and that's what you want. One thing you don't want is your leg to look like this. Okay? Alright, that's not good because it won't bend correctly when you animate it. So we need to always keep this from the front view perfectly straight. Okay. So what we are going to do is we're going to move it over to match our character. Okay, you can see that's where our hip joint is right there. And if you feel like you made a mistake, what you can do, let's say if we want it to go a little bit down a little bit more, and I think we could have done that. That's a little bit too high for the hip. So maybe right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move that down to where I think it should be. You make a mistake, no big deal. And then from the side view, you're going to want to go back in here and just move this one up. And that's okay, you can do that. And get that right where you want it to be. And you want to get that exactly where you want it. And so from the front, that looks really good, and that's nice and straight. And from the side view, that looks really nice too. I think that looks really well. Looks really good. I think that'll work perfect. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to mirror that joint over to the other side. To do that, I'm going to go into Skeleton. I'm going to go into Mirror Joints. And you can see that we've got YX, YZ, and XZ. No, that's XY, excuse me. We're going to go into YZ. We're going to look for L underscore. Okay, so you type in capital L underscore and then capital T, and we're going to place it with capital R underscore, and then we're going to go ahead and mirror that over. And you can see that mirrored directly over to the other side. Alright, so let's go ahead and get rid of the this part right here. And you can see that it did reverse the direction. Okay, that's not good. So it flipped it over. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Skeleton and we're going to go to Orient Joint. I'm going to click on the option box. I'm going to go ahead and edit reset and then orient the joints. Now the joint is now oriented. And if you forget to do this, you could have all kinds of problems with your rigging. The joints have to be facing the right direction. Now don't worry about the end effector. Again, that's not a problem or an issue. But the rest of the joints need to be followed down. So you can see that the red is pointing down. That is correct. Before it was pointing up, so I had to reverse it. That one's pointing down as well. So those are good. So if you got to this point, congratulations. That's wonderful. The only thing left to do is add an IK system. What you don't want to do is add an IK system to one and then mirror it over. It will not work properly. So you have to do a IK system individually, okay, for each one. Manually do it. So we're going to go in here and click, you don't even have to click on anything. We're just going to go into Skeleton, and we're going to go to Create IK Handle. Okay, going to go in there, and we're going to go ahead and reset it. It should be Rotate Plane Solver, okay. Alright, and we're just going to reset it, make sure it's on there, and we're good to go. Close it, and what you want to do is you want to click on the thigh. I may have called it hip in another video, but that's okay. And then I'm going to go in here and click on the ankle. Okay, and there it is. It's all set up now. And I'm going to do it one more time on the other side. So Skeleton, Create IK Handle. We're going to click on the thigh, and then click on the ankle. There we go. So those are your IK handles. Okay. So that's wonderful. So the next video, that's just gets you started, and so now you can go in here with the IK handle. It's hard to see. Let's go to Windows Outliner, see if I can find that real quick. I've already done a skeleton already. That's why it's so cluttered. There it is. Now let's open that up to see if we can find it. Okay. And our IK handle's right down here, so you can see that. And if I move that up, hit the W key, you can see that now my IK handle's working properly. I'm going to go to the other one. And if I can scroll down. There's number 2. Let's check that one out. I'll close that. And you can move that up and down. And that works really nice. Okay, so you're good. You're good to go for the leg joints and the IK handles all set up now. Now you can watch the rest of the videos. Again, I apologize if I named these incorrectly. So if you see me clicking on the joints, then please rename the joints exactly the way they should be in the next videos. Again, please rename the joints. I could have called that hip, and that could have been called ankle, and that could have been called foot and then toe. So anyway, go ahead and please rename those. It's not a big deal. Just double click on that and you can rename the joints pretty easily, and it won't mess anything up. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video.